Hey everyone, and welcome to the LTU Sports Report. I'm your host, Dillon Morello. The LTU Sports Report is made possible by Lawrence Technological University, and we're sponsored by Henry Ford Sports Medicine. So this week, I'll be hosting the show from down in Savannah, Georgia, as I cover our women's lacrosse team as they play in the NAIA National Tournament. We got a ton of highlights this week, so let's get right to it.
The Lawrence Tech baseball team was back in action for the first time in over a month in front of a sold-out crowd at Jimmy John's Field to welcome them back to the ballpark. In Saturday's first game in the doubleheader between the Wolverines of Michigan Dearborn, LTU tied up the score 1-1 in the third inning with an RBI single to center field from University Liggett alum Nick Post. Fellow freshman and Stevenson, Michigan native Nick Olson followed that up with a big double that scored another run. The lead was short-lived, however, as the Wolverines immediately answered back with 2 runs of their own. The freshman onslaught would continue for Lawrence Tech as Jacob Laneza from Westerville High School homered to left field to tie the game at 3 apiece after 4. Starting pitcher Ben Schmidt had kept the game in balance through 4 innings. In the 5th inning, his charm ran out, allowing 4 of the 5 runs that crossed before being relieved. The Wolverines tacked on another run on Antonio Carter's homer to left and pushed their lead to 6. LTU did, however, make it close in the end as Jacob Laneza continued his stellar day by scoring 2 with this single in the 8th. Still down by 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th, it seemed as if the Blue Devils would mount a comeback as Nick Post would score. Drew Zelnick, his former teammate at Liggett, grounded out to second in the 9th. Sophomore Sam DeKuyper grounded out to third base, which scored Nick Olson. LTU had the tying run up to bat when they were turned away. 9-7 was the final for Game 1. Unfortunately, Game 2 was a completely different story as LTU could not figure out a way to stop the Big Bats of Michigan Dearborn, who coasted to an easy 15-5 victory. Looking ahead, the Blue Devils will take on the Gray Wolves of Lourdes University on Day 2 of the 3-day homestand.
The Lawrence Tech softball team looks to close out the regular season against the Gray Wolves of Lourdes University. The Blue Devils have not swept a weekend series in 3 weeks. Needing to win both games, can the Blue Devils rise to the occasion? Jumping to the top of the 3rd inning, the Blue Devils lead by 2, but the Gray Wolves would score 3 runs to take the lead 3-2 heading into the bottom of the 3rd. Down by 1 still early in the game, the Blue Devils didn't panic, and it would be the junior Sarah Hyde who would knot this game up at 3. But the game wouldn't be tied for long. The senior Brittany Whelan would race home and give the Blue Devils a 4-3 lead heading into the 4th. The Gray Wolves would tie the game up again at 4. But things took a turn for the better because the 5th inning belonged to LTU as the Blue Devils would score 4 runs in the 5th to close out the game. Lawrence Tech would go on to win Game 1 in an impressive fashion with a final score of 8-4.
I think we were very successful in hitting the ball and playing defense. I think we meshed really well today, and we did very well as a group.
Moving along to Game 2, where both teams would put on a defensive effort early on, making a low-scoring affair. Things would pick up late, and the game would be tied at 1 apiece at the end of the 7th inning. We'll jump ahead to the bottom of the 11th inning. Game now tied at 2 apiece. That's until the junior Leah Kadlitz blasts one right up center field and the Rockford, Michigan native Lauren Landpier would run in for the game-winning score. Lawrence Tech would go on to win Game 2 3-2 as the final.
I think we did really well. I think we were able to keep the ball in front of us, and I think we were successful in eliminating the big hit, and that was the key in that game.
Hello everybody, Dillon Morello here in sunny 90-degree Savannah, Georgia, where the LTU women's lacrosse team has just arrived. They're starting their first practice behind me right now. It's their first of 2 this week until they play Benedictine on Wednesday for the first matchup of the NAIA National Tournament. We're gonna have the practice report from today as well as tomorrow, and of course the game highlights from Wednesday. So let's watch what the team worked on today.
It's exciting. It's definitely an experience. We just had a long bus ride, so coming out here to stretch our legs and play in the sunshine is just awesome. You know, we're just excited to be here. We had a lot of ups and downs during the season, but we're just overall just excited to be out here playing in some Georgia sun.
This year it's amazing. We get to come outside. It's beautiful. The biggest struggle we're going to have is getting used to this heat. It's very hot, and even without masks, it's very hot. But overall, we played great, and I think we got a good running chance to make it.
So that's going to do it here today for the LTU Women's Lacrosse first practice report of this week in Savannah, Georgia for the national tournament. A lot of stuff they worked on today and a lot of stuff to improve for their game on Wednesday against Benedictine. I'm Dillon Morello, and we'll be back to you tomorrow for their second practice report as they prepare for the big game.
I'm Andrea Williams. I'm year of 2024, and I play women's soccer. Right now, my favorite TV show is probably The Vampire Diaries because I've been binge watching it with my mom, and it's kind of our show, so I really like watching it with her. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man because I always do the Spidey jump with my friends. It's kind of our thing, so I don't really have any other reason than that. We have all the movies. My favorite animal is a bear, like a polar bear or a black bear. I don't know, I think they're really cute and cuddly. They're not even cuddly, they're mean, but it's fine. Outside of soccer, my favorite activity is making mac and cheese because it's my favorite food in the whole world.
We're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors, but we'll have the women's lacrosse highlights from their game against Benedictine when we get back, so stay tuned.
If you're a high school athlete with the dream of playing college sports, Lawrence Technological University wants you to recruit yourself. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports, including its newest additions, competitive cheer and dance, esports, women's hockey, and men's and women's track and field. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
Welcome back. Let's kick off the second half of our show with more baseball highlights.
For day 2 of LTU baseball's final homestands of the season, Lourdes University made the trip up and took the first game 9-6. It was senior day for 3 Blue Devils, who celebrated the college career of molecular cell biology major Eddie Dubkowski from Harrison Township and Auburn Hills native, civil engineer Adam Mansfield. Both of these amazing student athletes were recently named to the WHAC All-Academic Team. Joining them was construction management major Colin Vandergorden from Fenton, who was selected to represent LTU on the WHAC Champions of Character team. Congratulations to all 3 of these young men. We are grateful for everything that they have contributed to the program and wish them best of luck in all their future endeavors. Now on to game 2 of the day. Could the Blue Devils stop their 3-game losing skid? In the bottom of the third, they got on the board with this sacrifice fly from Nick Olson, who scored Adam Mansfield. Nathan Picani doubled later in the third, sending 2 more runs in. They finished up the inning with another run knocked in by freshman Logan Walker, giving LTU a 4-1 lead. Jumping to the 5th, Lourdes managed 4 runs and pulled within 1 run. Freshman Danny DeQuette, a Grosse Pointe North High School alum, would give Lawrence Tech some breathing room with this homer that gave his team an 8-6 lead, which they would maintain until the 7th inning. The Gray Wolves started firing on all cylinders and managed 5 runs and snatched the lead, making it 11-8 in their favor. The Blue Devils immediately responded with this double to left center, which scored 2 runs. Nursing student Nick Olson knotted the game at 11 with this single to right field. In the 8th, LTU put this one to bed with a big 4-run inning. The game remained 15-11 throughout the 9th, giving Lawrence Tech their first win of the weekend.
And here we go, day 2 here in sunny Savannah, Georgia. Dillon Morello with you as the LTU women's lacrosse team is getting set to start their second practice in as many days here, preparing for the NAIA National Tournament. They're going to take on Benedictine College tomorrow at 1 p.m. We'll have the coverage of that game for you as well as highlights. But right now, enjoy this practice report here in Savannah, Georgia.
Well, it's been really hot out here, but we've been pushing through it and making sure we're keeping our mentality up so we don't get in our own heads. I think we've been playing pretty well, especially considering we're coming from like 50-degree weather.
So we worked on working through our attack and our defense and just setting up plays and really slowing the ball down with the heat and everything. And yeah, we're excited. It's going to be a good game.
Our main thing is working on keeping out of our own heads. We really want to make sure that we don't get down on ourselves and that we keep the energy up the whole game.
So there you have it. The second day of the LTU women's lacrosse practice has just concluded. They worked on a lot of stuff today, focusing on transitioning defense to offense. We've seen that in a multitude of their games, especially winning in the WHAC championship, how that defensive prowess led to their offensive pressure. And once again, I'm Dillon Morello. We hope you enjoyed this practice report, and we'll be with you tomorrow for the first matchup in the NAIA National Tournament.
The Lawrence Tech women's softball team faces off against the Madonna Crusaders in the opening game of the WHAC playoffs. The Blue Devils come into tonight's matchup with a record of 17-18. During the course of the regular season, LTU cleared every hurdle that was in their way. However, there was a tough task ahead as the Crusaders just lost 6 games all season. Starting with game 1, it was a pitcher's duel to start off. We'll jump to the top of the 3rd before junior Sarah Hyde puts an end to that as she would score her 25th run of the season, putting the Blue Devils on the board first. Moving ahead to the top of the 5th, Blue Devils still with a 1-run lead. It would be the New Baltimore native Callie Tatum who singles to right field with 2 runners on. Both would come in to score. Blue Devils lead 3-0. On to the 6th inning. Blue Devils close to pulling off this upset, but the Crusaders would storm back and score 4 unanswered runs. Lawrence Tech would go on to drop game 1, 4-3, the final. On to game 2. The Blue Devils take on the Cougars of Cleary University. These two split the regular season matchup. This is a must-win game to stay alive in the playoffs. Cougars would strike in the bottom of the 2nd, jump to the 4th where the Rockford native Lauren Lanphier would score the lone run for the Blue Devils, not in this game at 1 apiece. But it wasn't the outcome Lawrence Tech was looking for as they would go on to drop game 2, 4-1, the final.
My name is Jack Gray. I'm a freshman and I do cross country and track. My favorite musical artist is Tekashi 6ix9ine. I don't know, I just like his music. My celebrity crush should probably be Cardi B. I like her music for one, and she's just really attractive. Spider-Man, because the way he just moves around and saves the world, basically.
So here we go, the game we've all been waiting for as your Lawrence Tech Blue Devils are taking on the Benedictine Ravens in the quarterfinals matchup of the 2021 NAIA National Championship. So Lawrence Tech coming into this game after beating Santa Heights in the WHAC finals. Actually, Santa Heights was a team to play right before them on the same field. They lost to the #1 seed Kaiser University, but a great matchup there. So the winner of this game between Benedictine and Lawrence Tech will take on Kaiser. So this one's going to be a tough one to predict as LTU was coming off of that 2-week hiatus due to COVID-19 protocols. They came back, had to get their feet under them. They've since built momentum. They won the WHAC finals, as we just mentioned prior, and have now carried that into into the game here today, as we saw in the practice reports, really working on that defensive side of the game, moving it to offense, and it really has generated a ton of success for them. So on the other side of the pitch, Benedictine is coming in with a 13-1 record on the regular season, and while that may seem daunting, the conference they're in isn't that excellent, as they've outscored opponents 296 goals to 43 against. So expect their offense to be really well-oiled. They're going to come in at the Blue Devils, but the Blue Devil defense is up to the task, hopefully in this one, and we'll see what happens as the game is about to get underway, and we'll get the highlights to you right after this. The Blue Devils would get out to a 6-0 lead with 20 minutes remaining in the first half before Benedictine even scored their first goal. The halftime score was 12-6 in favor of LTU. An onslaught of goals to start the second half gave the Blue Devils a running clock as the score was quickly 16-6. Benedictine eventually scored 3 straight, but it was a little too late as Lawrence Tech cruised an upset victory with a 20-11 final score. Junior nursing student Abby Smentowski led all Blue Devils with 6 goals, while senior Ashley Sherry from Savage, Minnesota, followed right behind with 5 goals and an assist. Senior Kaylee Patterson, who flew in the day before the match just so she could attend her nursing pinning ceremony back in Southfield, racked up 3 goals, as did junior Katie Waits, who was recently named to the WHAC First Team All-Conference. It was announced at the game that Abby Barnwald was selected as an NAIA All-American. She knocked in 2 goals herself, while junior Bella Van Buren rounded out the Blue Devils, scoring with a goal of her own.
We came in this that we had to win this as a team. It wasn't going to take one person on either end, and we did just that. We played amazing on the defense, on the attacking end. You know, our goalie, but she played amazing, and we worked together, passed the ball really well through the midfield and on attack. We just kept the ball hot and did exactly what, you know, we were supposed to do coming into this game.
Everyone went hard after the loose balls, and it was going to be a grind, and it was. And at the end, we didn't give up and just kept it going. I'm so proud of this team and what they did and have accomplished so far. My team right now is playing with all heart, and you can't beat that.
So there you have it. LTU wins this quarterfinals matchup against Benedictine College, 20-11 the final score. A great outing all around. Once again, LTU eclipsing that 20-goal mark, but it couldn't have happened without the backstopping of Dory Coggin. She made a plethora of saves, and you're going to look to her again this Friday as they move on to the semifinal match. They're going to take on Kaiser, and it's going to be a tough one. You saw them beat Savannah Heights a little bit earlier in the day. That's who LTU beat to move on to the national tournament. So exciting stuff happening. We're going to have a game on Friday, so we hope you enjoyed this one, and go Blue Devils. That's our show for this week. Thanks for watching, and as always, please check out LTU Athletics on social media for daily updates. You can also subscribe to our podcast, Blue Devils In Depth, and download our brand new mobile app. Again, I'm your host, Dillon Morello. I'll see you next time.